What's up, guys? Welcome back for another video. This video I'll just give you a little update on Project Tin Top, and I'll show you some other stuff that I've been working on around my shop. So let's get right into it. So as far as Project Tin Top, I did have some issues with it 2 weeks ago. I went to check the oil in it and I found coolant in the oil. So if you know what that means, it had a blown head gasket. So last weekend I tore the head off of it. I put a new head gasket in it, and while I had the head off, this motor had a high rev cam in it. So I pulled that cam out and put a stock cam back in it because I was thinking that was probably the reason why it wasn't running right. Like, it would build boost, but it wouldn't build boost until you're like really high in the RPMs. And I'm thinking that might have been why it blew a head gasket, because you really had to rev the piss out of it, and it was just building too much pressure up in the cylinder walls maybe, and then it just lifted the head or something like that. I ain't no professional, but that's what I'm just thinking it might have been. But anyways, it's back together. It runs way better than what it did. Like as soon as you're driving, it's building boost like right away. Like I said before, another one, you'd have to literally stomp it and then hold it there for a while to actually start building the boost up. So it's back together. It runs way better than what it did, like I said. So yeah, so if you ever plan on turbo in your 1.6/8 valve, if it has a high rev cam in it, most likely it's not going to work. But that's what I've had. That was my problem. I don't know. It was just because, I don't know, maybe it will work, maybe it won't, but for me it didn't work. So that's pretty much where Project Tin Top is. I actually just pulled it in this garage. I actually worked on it down in my other garage because I had a project up in here I was working on for a customer. Last night I made some changes to the file for the rear bumper. So I think I made like 4 changes on it. So I got to recut that out and make sure they're good, because I've been wanting to get these bumpers done so then I could sell them, but just time isn't on my side right now because my garage, as you can see, it's not really that big. So it's kind of hard to work on 2 projects at once, and especially when I'm only one person, when I'm trying to get parts cut out and get them together. But definitely made some changes on that. I'm going to get that cut out hopefully this week so I can make sure it all works together, and then I feel confident enough that I can sell it. So hopefully I can get them going here soon, because I have a few people that want them. So just got to get them perfect and then get them on the website. And then I did end up picking this sweet beast up. Sweet beast. It's the Dr.Z, dude. The Dr.Z. The Dr.Z. Now, I picked it up off Marketplace. I got it for a good deal. My one friend bought a house a while back, and he has like 2 or 3 acres, and he was all about like making trails and stuff, but now he doesn't want to do anything. So I pretty much posted this for sale and see if I can make some money on it. Haven't had much luck, but that's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you have to wait and sit on things before you can make some money. But I mean, that's pretty much it for the Tin Top project. Like I said, there's still a bunch of stuff I want to do to it. I'll show you what I did on my he's a friend, but technically he's a customer too, because I worked on his shit and he's paying me for it. So let's go check that out. It actually turned out pretty decent. It took me a while to figure out, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Yeah, it's down in his garage, so let's check it. Let's check this thing out. Okay, so this is my buddy's I think it's 1999 Toyota Tacoma, 4-cylinder 5-speed. He pretty much did all the work pretty much. I mean, he did all the work besides the front and rear bumpers, which that's what I just got done doing. This was actually my truck. I bought it off a guy. It was already solid axle swapped. It had leaf springs in the front. I'd hate to talk shit on the guy, but dude, he did not know what he was doing. Yeah, it was just cobbled together, and then when I had it, I ripped all the front suspension off of it. It had rock sliders on it. I ripped them off because it had a body lift on it, and you couldn't lower the cab because the guy mounted the rock sliders after he did the body lift, so you couldn't lower the cab unless the rock sliders came off. So I cut them off. It had a rear bumper on it. I think it had an ARB bumper on the front of it, which I sold all that stuff because I wanted to build my own stuff. And yeah, and then time got to me, and I started a business, and I didn't have time to work on it, so I sold it to him. So this is where he got with it. He actually did a pretty decent job. He spent a lot of money on it, as you can tell. He has just some of the parts that he did to it. I think they're 12-inch coilovers in the front, king coilovers with reservoirs, FJ80 steering box. You got dual transfer cases with 4.7 case in the back, triple sticked. 1.25" Heims from Rough Stuff. Trail gear high steer, RCV shafts. I think he has a Spartan front locker or some sort of lunchbox locker. He also has Trail Gear's front drive shaft, their slip yoke kit or something like that. He has ballistic fabrication shock towers, which I don't know why he bought all that stuff, because I wanted to help him do all that, but I mean, I get it. My time is always cutting parts out and putting parts together, and he didn't want to wait for that, so he just bought the stuff, which whatever. I mean, it's where it's at now. E-locker in the rear, 35-inch tires, my rock rings on 17s. I think he has a header on it, and I think that's pretty much about it. But anyways, let's check out these bumpers. This is what I've been working on for the last 2 weeks, because I've been working on it here and there. Front one turned out pretty decent. Just a little up close video. The shitty thing about this truck is when I bought it, like, the guy was a complete idiot. Like, I don't know, like if you ever work on Tacomas, or if you ever fabricated, or you ever did anything like solid axle swapping or anything, well, you have, like, say you have in the front of a solid axle truck, there's like support bars that go from the frame rail to frame rail. Well, I'm pretty positive when this guy did it, he cut all the brackets out, and he didn't even put any supports in, so it held the frame where it needs to be. I think he just cut them all out, and then he added one in, which behind here is I think it's 2x3 box tubing. But anyways, from like this bolt hole, is off, it's wider by 3/4 of an inch. So when the guy did it, he didn't do it properly. Like, I built the bumper on that one up there, and I took all my measurements, was already on my computer, and I cut that one out and tried to bolt it up here, dude, and it was way off. Like, all the bolts in the bottom of the frame are all screwed up. Like, underneath here, they're all screwed up. And as you can see there, that's where it was wrecked, because when the guy put this together, like, I didn't realize it until after now, actually, because he had an ARB bumper on it. But when I pulled it off, it didn't have any of the bolt holes on this side. All the bolts were over there, and that was it. And like, it was shoved back, like, and it makes sense now. He fucking just threw it together because it wouldn't bolt up, because he made that frame too far this way. So that's just how it is. But I mean, that's the front one. Hopefully you can get a good glance at it. It's not finished yet. He's actually away working, so he's not around. He's gonna TIG weld it up, and then after he gets done TIG welding it up, we're gonna cap the bumper off. But I just left it on because here's the rear one that I did. Same thing with them. I'm gonna cap them off. I'm gonna even put some angle on it and then cap it off. But it's not, like I said, the rear one's not welded either. I pretty much mocked it up. I didn't pull it off yet because, like I said, man, I'm rambling. But here's the rear one. turned out pretty decent. Like here it is underneath to go into the frame. Yeah, there's a clamp under there holding it. So yeah, I mean, has a hitch receiver in it, so then you can throw a winch in the back of it if you want. That's why I did the front one too. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I've been working on. And I also want to add like gussets in here, so it ties this plate, so it squares it off, so that it's more rigid. I just didn't do that because, well, it's still on the truck and it's much easier to do when I pull it off, and kind of scared to pull it off by myself because I don't want one of the tacks to break. And like I said, he's gonna TIG weld it, so I don't want to put like big MIG welds on it because he's gonna TIG weld it anyways. So yeah, I mean, dude, that's pretty much his truck. It's a pretty sweet truck. Can't wait till he gets it on the trail and we do some wheeling. And I don't know, I guess that's it for this video. Yeah, it's short, but it's whatever. Definitely, if you like this video, definitely like it. And if you want to see more of my videos, which I'm trying to do when I have time, definitely subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.